Hi guys, how you guys doing? It's me, Nikki. I thought I'd do an in-depth video and go in much detail about myself and what my video channel is going to be about. Okay? So first off, my name is Nick. Sometimes at home I'm called Nikki, and a lot of friends call me Nikki because it separates me from my father because we all share the same name. And I tend to like Nikki better than Nick because it's more fits me like a glove. So basically, I'm from the state of Connecticut in the county of Hartford in a region of the United States called New England. New England is originally one of the 13 original colonies under the British colonial. Okay, so that's where I'm from. I graduated college last year about, let me see, 2016. I graduated, let me see, from Eastern Connecticut State University on May 17, 2016, with a bachelor's degree in history and social science. So right now I'm in my gap year, and right now I'm in between undergrad and graduate school. So it's that time of the year for me where I'm trying to decide whether the workforce is perfect for me or whether I should just move into grad school and get my master's degree. The two master's degree I'm looking at getting, guys, are my master's in social work and master's in nursing. Those are depending on like whether I need prerequisites for nursing school, in which I think I'm going to because I took all my non-science prereqs. Now I have to take the hardcore science ones like anatomy, physiology 1 and 2, chem 1, and micro. Only 4 classes I need just to get into nursing school. So that is something that I'm looking at doing. On top of that, guys, I am looking at studying for the GREs or the Miller's Analogies test. If you don't know what those are, the GRE and the MAT are like grad school entrance exams. If you don't take those, not a lot of grad schools will let you in. And you got to have competitive scores as well. So you got to score high enough where the grad school can overlook everything else and say, yeah, let's take that based on that. So that is my educational background, and it took me a long time to graduate with a bachelor's degree. And May 17, 2016 was the year I was going to get my bachelor's. So it took me a while, and I got my bachelor's degree, you know. So now I am working on getting my master's, and as soon as I get my master's, I'll be making some good money. You know, I'll be making some good money and probably get my own place. You know? So about myself, guys, I'm one of the few people who was born intersex. I have a medical condition called Kallmann syndrome, which means I have the Cal1 variation. And if you don't know what the Cal1 variation is that it's the classic Kallmann syndrome where I can't smell, I have gynecomastia, I have ambiguous genitalia, I have a micro penis, and I'm one of the few intersex people who have been verified. I've been verified by 2 places. I've been verified by the Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston, Mass. I've been verified by the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. And give you an example, this is my NIH badge right here. This literally means that I have been verified and I've been to the National Institutes of Health. On top of that, the U.S. government has my DNA, so which means I'm a verified intersex person with Kallmann syndrome. And I'm one of the few people who can say that the U.S. government has my DNA on file where any medical scientist can look it up and can even study from it. So as a result, I'm one of the few intersex people who literally can get away with saying, yes, I have that. On top of that, guys, I'm one of the more rarest human beings to have vitiligo. You see on my hands here? That's vitiligo right here. You see on the thumb? That's vitiligo. I have vitiligo for a long time. And you can see on my face here too. There's some vitiligo right here. So, as a result, I have the same medical condition that Michael Jackson has, which puts me at a rarest part of being human. Where how many people can say on this planet that they have two rare medical conditions in one body? For me, I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate to say that I have Kallman syndrome and I have vitiligo in my body. I have two rare conditions and I get away with that. And on top of that, as a result of having Kallman syndrome, and a result of having gynecomastia, and a result of having a micropenis, I don't get treated like one of the guys or one of the girls because you know what? Medically and scientifically, it's never going to happen. No matter how much medical science tries, there's no way that they're going to make me a normal guy and a normal girl. So as a result, I get treated as just a normal human being. They don't force sex, gender, or gender identity on me. So instead, I just try to be normal as much as I can, despite having Kallman syndrome, despite having vitiligo. And on top of that, guys, I am deaf in one ear. So that is due to the result of the gene in Kallman syndrome that knocked out my hearing. So they don't know how long I'm going to be able to hear in one ear, but they do know that eventually it's all going to collapse and it's going to be a point where I'm not going to hear at all in one ear. So I am deaf in one ear and I am deaf on my right ear. My left ear is compensating, but it doesn't know how long can the left ear help the right ear before it just says to the right ear, you're on your own, buddy pal. So I do get seen by an audiologist a lot, and coincidentally, I am eligible to go to one of the deaf colleges because of my deaf disability. So that is an option there. That is something I'm looking at. But other than that, guys, I am in the U.S. military as well. I serve with the United States Coast Guard as an auxiliary member. And what I do for the United States Coast Guard is I'm a vessel examiner. And as part of my collateral duties, I'm also a diversity officer. Which means as a diversity officer, I make sure that the Commandant's diversity message and the Commandant's diversity mission gets put into action at the flotilla level, at the division level, and at the district level, which means I'm essentially an ambassador for the United States Coast Guard to the general public. I'm essentially the person that speaks about what the Coast Guard does, how diverse we are, and what we do for the nation. And on top of that, guys, I also speak to groups that would not normally see the Coast Guard as a viable role, you know? And they would not normally see what the U.S. Coast Guard does. So it's a mission that I do as a diversity officer. I speak to groups, I speak to individuals, and at the same time, I speak to a lot of people who would not normally see the Coast Guard as a military service, and I tell them, this is what we do in the Coast Guard. This is who we are. So basically, as a FSO DV, I'm basically like an ambassador for the flotilla. I'm basically the Coast Guard's emissary. So as my job is that I'm an ambassador. I speak out to these people. I speak to groups. I speak to other people, and I speak to like groups that would not normally see the Coast Guard as a military service. And as my other role in the Coast Guard, I'm a vessel examiner, which means I go out and inspect vessels on behalf of the United States Coast Guard. I make sure that the recreational boaters are in compliance with safety regulations, making sure they have their safety gear like their life jackets, their air horns, their float plans, make sure they know that their backfire flame arrestor is working, make sure that they have a float plan, make sure they have the nav rules book, make sure they know the 1/3 going out, 1/3 coming back, having a 1/3 emergency, you know, making sure that their equipment's in check. It's just making sure that the boating public is kept accountable, and at the same time making sure that they're safe. You know, if you want, it's basically making sure they're accountable as well. So as far as for my video channel, guys, my video channel is going to be 80% playing my video games, such as live casting my Modern Warfare and Call of Duty games, and 20% will be devoted to talking to topics, issues, concerns I have. But if I really wanted to live cast like this, I would use Periscope. And the reason why I would do that is because Periscope lets me live cast all the time, and then my videos get deleted within 24 hours. And you gotta remember, when I used to do YouTube videos, and I did YouTube videos back in 2009, and I stopped after that because I was getting harassed, stalked, bullied, intimidated, doxxed. I was even getting hounded where I live. So after 2009, I stopped doing YouTube videos completely. I stopped doing videos at all. So after a while, I just watched other people do their videos and commented. But when live casting came on scene, that's when I started doing live casting. Like, for example, on Facebook. Facebook has a Facebook live cast. I started doing that a little bit. And then when Periscope came along, I started doing that as well, too. So, as a result, I'm slowly inching away at coming back and doing videos on YouTube. But my primary focus will be live casting my video games on my PlayStation 4 when I play Modern Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3. That's when I'm going to live cast those. But 20% of it will be devoted to, say, if there's an interesting topic I want to talk about, or if there's an interesting issue I want to discuss. So those are the 20%. But the 85% will be devoted to live casting my video games. So every night when I'm playing my PlayStation 4, I'll be live casting it so y'all can see what I do, what I play, what kind of weapons I use on the video game, my tactics, and basically my chit chat with all the other players as I interact and play with the game. So it is what my channel is going to be, and it's going to be an 85% playing my video games, 20% to whatever topics, issues, concerns, and basically discussions. But if I want to live cast, and I do live cast while I'm driving somewhere, or live cast out in the yard, I will be using Periscope, and I am on Periscope, and I am on Facebook Live, so I will live cast it, and I will sometimes live cast off of Instagram. That's on a rare occasion, but not that often. But in any case, that's what my channel's going to be, and that's what my channel's going to be about. It's not going to be that like what you see in other YouTube channels, because I'm trying to wean away from YouTube channels, and I'm trying to do away just doing all YouTube videos, because if I do YouTube videos with just my face like this, it gets fucking boring after a while. It gets monotony. It gets like shit. Instead, I'm just gonna do live casting my video games, 20% devoted to discussions and topics, and sometimes if I want to talk off off censored, which means if I want to say my shit, I'll just go live casting and there you go. But any case, guys, this is going to be my introduction video to who I am, what I'm all about. But anyway, guys, I gotta go. I got some other shit I gotta do. Bye for now.